addition and subtraction rules for significant figures. So there are specific rules when we're doing calculations for significant digits. So the rule that you have to remember for addition and subtraction is that for the number of significant figures, to maintain precision during addition and subtraction, you must show as many decimal places in the answer, so in your final answer, as the measurement with the fewest number of decimal places. This is because the one with the fewest number of decimal places says that your instruments were this precise. You can't show that you are more precise than your instruments allowed you to be. So here, what we have to do is first figure out what they mean by decimal places. So if I write 2.63, this number has 2 decimal places, 1, 2. Notice after the decimal point, that's when I start counting decimal places. So I have 2 decimal places here for my problem. So if I write something like 1.2, I have 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place. So that makes this important. So when I do this, if I'm doing a problem, a subtraction problem, let's say 2.63 grams minus 1.2 grams, 1.2 grams, notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer the grams down here because we also want to make sure that we pay attention to the units. And then 3 minus 0, because there's nothing here, 3 minus 0. And notice I've lined up the decimal points, so when you subtract decimals like this, you do this. I would write the decimal places so you know how many there are. So 2 decimal places. I'll just put places, 1 decimal place. And so we know that the answer that we have to get, the final answer has to have how many decimal places? 1 decimal place. Why? Because we want the fewest number of decimal places to show that that's how precise our instruments were. That's what we could get, the resolution that we could get off our instruments. So what we're going to do is do the subtraction. We get 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. We move the decimal point down here. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So it's 1.43 is the answer. But notice this answer has 2 decimal places. And we know that we only need 1 decimal place. We only need 1 decimal place. So what we have to do is round. So I'm going to write 1 point, and then this number is going to be the 1 decimal place. So we have to use the number after the 4 to figure out what we have to do with the 4. Is it going to go round up, so change to the number 5, or is it going to stay the same? Because this number is 3, so that means 4 or below, that means it's going to stay the same. So that I can write 1.4, and that gives me 1 decimal place. And so here is the answer. This is the correct answer for this problem following the significant digit rules, because 1.4 shows me the precision. To maintain the precision of the addition and subtraction, I have to do this rounding and make sure I have only 1 decimal place, because that is the rule.